angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth of stone or ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. Obviously, you can tell I'm scrambling to get things up. Wow. Has it been a day? Not necessarily a good day, but it has been a day. It wasn't all bad, but definitely wasn't all good. Okay, so first off, before I get started with anything, real quick, I do need to share something for Evil. This is from Marshmallow. And let's see. Here you go. That's for you, Evil. Happy National Unicorn Day. I thought that was awesome. Anyway, let's see. Wow. Like I say, it's been crazy. Let me do this real quick. I want to thank whoever it was that made the purchase through our Amazon link yesterday. I don't know. But we are up to $9.93. Now, a lot of people might be like, yeah, well, so what? Well, 7 more cents, and we actually will qualify for a payment. Not it'd be like 2 months from now. So that's we're not looking to get rich, but I was just hoping we could surpass having an empty month without getting anything. So that's all I wanted to say was thank you for whoever did that. Anybody that wants to, or if you shop on Amazon and you feel so inclined, there's a link in the description for our Amazon affiliate link, and it will take you to Amazon. You can also go to the webpage, thewatchmannews.com, and we actually have like suggested items. And it's Amazon's suggestions, not necessarily mine, right there on the home page. Or you can type whatever it is you're looking for in the search box and hit go, and it will still give you our link that will track and will credit us with it. So as far as our recommended items, if you go to the store, we actually have a page set up with recommended items. These are all items that we own and that we recommend. I do need to get a few more items up there that I don't have up there yet, but nonetheless. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, whoever it was. We're close, 7 cents away. So, anyway, let me get this scrolled back up if it will allow me to. So, the day started out at 6 a.m. Well, got up, I think, a little earlier than that, but around 6 a.m. I started working with this sublimation printer. So Prepper Nurse 1 had ordered a case of coffee mugs, and so I was going to do runs of coffee mugs today, and I was actually going to design up a couple of new coffee mugs for his website. And, I knew ahead of time that this was going to involve me cleaning out the sublimation printer, because sublimation ink gets gummy. And so if the printer sets for a little while and isn't used, I have a nightmare getting it cleaned out so it'll print correctly, and so I can go about making sublimated cups. Well, it's not often that I declare that something defeated me, but I kind of have no choice here. I started at about 6 a.m. on the sublimation printer, started cleaning the heads then, all the way up till probably about 2 o'clock, something like that, my time. And I'm like, man, I've got to figure out how to get this head completely out of here, this printer head completely out of here, so I can really get a good look at it, see what's going on. Because although I was making progress, I was getting very, very little yellow out of it. So I was doing okay with my red, my blue, and my black, but it was my yellow was almost non-existent. So I watched a video once before on getting out the printer head. They're not designed to be able, you're not, really supposed to be doing this, taking the printer head out and stuff. But I seen a video quite some time back, some guy taking the printer head out of a similar printer, an Epson printer. And so I watched the video again, and I thought, that's not too bad. Let me take it in the kitchen where we've got the best light, and I'll try to get this head out of here. So I successfully got the head out, and I took it over to the sink, and I had some alcohol in a coffee cup, and so I was taking a syringe. I took the end of a syringe where you would normally put the tip, and I took and I heated up a small metal rod that would fit in the end of it, and I made it bigger so I could fit it over the port for each of the colors. And so I sucked a little alcohol up in there, and I went through the colors, and I watched it. I mean, all the colors had some clogs to it, and this method was working beautiful. I mean, I watched it clean out. So the black was perfect, the blue, the red, perfect. The yellow took some doing, and I never got it perfect as far as seeing the spray come out, but I think it was doable. I think it was, at least going to work okay. So I put everything back together. I blew air through it from the syringe, put it all back together, and when you use one of these printers, it's an office printer. When you use it for sublimation, you have to use special tanks, and they have a chip on them, and it will allow you to more or less reset your ink levels. So when you first fire the printer up, it will actually tell you that it doesn't recognize the ink cartridge. It's something you go through anytime it gets unplugged. So I gone about the business of getting it to recognize the cartridges, and so it's got a little button on the tanks, and I just click the button, hit OK, print, and it goes through, it checks the cartridge, makes sure everything's good, and you go on about your way. Well, I came in the living room, and because that takes 2-3 minutes, I came in the living room, was doing some other stuff, and went back in there, and the printer's off. I'm like, huh? And so push the power button, nothing. The printer is like dead. Now this, I'm sure, I can assure you, has nothing to do with me cleaning the heads. It was just one hell of a bad timing for the printer to go bad. I've checked the power input, the power supply for the printer and everything. It's working properly. It's the main board. The main board went out on the printer, which actually could have been what was causing some of the issues, although that printer head was clogged. There's no two ways about it. So my sublimation printer's dead. So, yeah. So I guess we'll be talking, me and Prepper Nurse want to be talking later on, and I guess we're going to see about trying to get one here as quickly as possible. So it's, I'm not a fan of doing cup sublimation, especially this method, because this isn't, a true sublimation machine is pretty expensive. This is a cheaper method of doing it using an Epson printer, using empty, tanks, and I've actually have what they call a continuous flow system that I don't have hooked up because one or two of the hoses clogged up on it. So I just put a little bit of ink in the tanks whenever I need to use it. But it's actually supposed to, I've got these huge tanks that have hoses that come from them that plug into the top of the little tanks that go down into the printer. But I'm telling you, that continuous flow system is a nightmare. It's continuous ink system, I guess, CIS. It is a nightmare, and the hose gets caught on stuff, and then it's a nightmare. But so I have to admit defeat, and it's not often, and I'm not saying that trying to be boisterous or pompous or anything like that, but I'm pretty good at fixing stuff. But the main board's dead. I'm done. There's nothing I can do with it. So, frustrating. So I didn't get a lot done today. Obviously, I spent a good part of my day doing that. I got hamburger separated when Jen went shopping over the weekend. She buys a big 10-pound tube of hamburger, and I normally break it out into pounds and put it in the freezer. And I got that done. Luckily, the hamburger was still okay. That was a concern of mine, but there was no smell. It wasn't sticky. So it's separated. It's put up in the freezer. So I did get that done. And the only other thing that I got done today, while I was letting the printer head soak for a little while, I ran out back And our landlord, I was telling you guys yesterday, is like absolutely awesome. He had brought me, I had mentioned something about looking for a plastic 55-gallon drum and to grow potatoes in. And so he had actually had one at home and brought it to me, and brought his saw so we could cut the top off of it. So I went out there, and I flipped it upside down and drilled a bunch of holes in the bottom as per instructions on doing this. So I've got the holes drilled in that. I don't have anything in it yet. I'm gonna, come hell or high water, the potatoes are gonna go in it tomorrow. So I need to shoot him a message and see what he thinks about where I want to put it, because of course it's got to get sunlight. So wow. So I didn't get a lot done today. Very frustrating day. It is any time I fight that sublimation printer, but once it gets going, it's not too bad. You know, it's just a matter of printing out sublimation sheets, and it uses special paper and special ink, and it's just a matter of printing them out. And then I've got my own little way of doing guides and stuff like that to get everything on the cup straight and looking good and all that, which I will be. I did the video yesterday of doing the decal. I will be doing a video on doing sublimation of cups, and I will also be doing a video on doing T-shirts, because I've got to get 2 T-shirts done. So I'm going to do videos on doing T-shirts as well. So it's just it's a process, folks. It is what it is, and that's what sucks about merchandise business, is because, you know, a lot of times you're going to run into unexpected things that make your life a nightmare, at least for that time being. Man, I tell you, I can't say I was like spitting mad, but I was pretty damn frustrated. And I don't get that frustrated very easy. Not even as frustrated as I was today. I normally don't get that frustrated. So again, I wasn't throwing stuff, screaming, cussing. I'm a pretty calm individual. I don't lose it very easily. I'd rather keep a calm head and try to figure it out, you know. And because I've learned a long time ago that getting mad doesn't do anything but inhibit you. It doesn't help you. So I do, again, it wasn't totally a bad day, right? Because I'm not in jail. I'm not in the hospital. So, and the other thing is this company in St. Louis that I'd been talking to had said they were going to send me samples of some kratom, and this was some time back. I don't know, a month or two, something. I would have to look, and I never got them. And yeah, well, you know, that's just the way it is. Sometimes companies say that and they don't, and whatever. So, I was disappointed by it, but I didn't, you know, I wasn't going to like hold it against them. Oh, I'm never going to do business with it. No, because this seems like a really kick-ass company with a really good product. So, and, you know, I can't beat it. It's 30 miles away, right? So I mentioned something to them to ask if I could get an order kind of split up in a couple different kinds, because come the end of the month, when our first Amazon payment comes, guess what I'm getting? That's where it's going to go, and it's actually going to take about, you know, $2 or $3 more than what we'll be getting from Amazon to place my order. But you know, the thing is, if this lives up to the hype, this is going to be the thing for us. And this is something, if it again lives up to the hype, this is something that I think should be offered. I think we should offer it. It is what it is. So anyway, I messaged them about that, and I did mention, I said, I never did get samples or anything. And the guy's like, I must have overlooked it. And I guess he looked at it, whatever he looked at, and he goes, dude, I'm sorry, I must have overlooked it. He goes, I'm getting those out today. And this was yesterday that he said that. So it was last night that it went into the mail system. So it didn't make it today, unfortunately, but it will be here tomorrow. I've got tracking and everything on it, so I'm looking so forward to it. I am. I'm like, I haven't been this giddy about something in a while. I can't wait to try it. Anything that will help me relieve some of the pain that I'm in. So I was just talking to Jen about it before we went on the air. And when I get up in the mornings, and I'm probably being a little conservative when I say this, because I'm not one that whines about how I feel, and I would say on the old 0 to 10 scale, I'd probably wake up with about a pain level of 8, without a doubt. Maybe close to 9. It's horrible, and I'm real stiff. I can barely move. I can, and I get that, I'm not gonna take a, kratom capsule and I'm gonna be completely fine in 5 minutes. I get that. I get that it's gonna take, 45 minutes or so, and I'm good with that. Believe me, I'm good with that. After I get to moving around and I get 2 big old cups of coffee, which is actually about probably 4 cups of coffee, after I get that in me in the mornings, I can function, but I still hurt. And it's, the more that I do through the day, the worse off it gets. So I really think this is going to be an answer for myself. And Jen, of course, with cerebral palsy, I got to remember to say it right. It's not cerebral, it's cerebral. And I probably still said it wrong. Cerebral. There we go, cerebral. Because there is no... What? She calls it that too, but yeah, it's technically cerebral palsy, and I still say it wrong. But you get my point. It's not cerebral because never mind. Anyway, so she deals with pain quite a bit, and then plus, as a child, she had several operations and stuff on her lower legs, and so she's getting up there in age, and it's no, seriously though, she's getting older, and I really suspect that arthritis is setting in. So especially from the symptoms that she has, so I can't wait for her to try it too. Plus, it's it's known for enhancing moods and giving you a little bit of an energy boost. I mean, this seems to me like it's like an all around a good thing to try. So. Not going to rule out CBD yet either. I haven't had the opportunity to try CBD. I really do want to try CBD, and so I can't wait to try that. But we've got kratom coming, so I will let you guys know by showtime tomorrow. I should be feeling a lot better, and we'll see. And I will let you know. Anything else? I'm trying to think. Been a hell of a day, I'm telling you. Been a hell of a day. Let me have a sip of coffee. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I can't think of anything else. Trying to think. No, I mean, like I say, it was a pretty non-productive day. So I did get my holes drilled. Let me say that again. My holes drilled. I didn't get my hose drilled. I got my holes drilled. I better clarify that. Uh-oh. I left my e-cig somewhere. Can you believe that? Blue? I can't believe I did that. Give me 2 seconds. I mean, literally 2 seconds. Okay, make that like 3.5 seconds. I know it was longer than that, but I gotta have my pacifier, man. I'm telling you, I gotta have my pacifier. Let me make sure my pacifier works real quick. Oh, man. Yes, I love vaping. I really do. Anyway, trying to think. I can't think of anything more more to add. We got capsules coming because the kratom we're getting is just a powder, and so from my understanding, it's kind of has a bitter taste. So it's probably not something we just want to take as a powder form and put it on our tongue. You know what I mean? So did early this morning, we did get some empty capsules ordered. So let's see. Which, again, Amazon Prime, I'm telling you, the capsules will be here tomorrow. So that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And they were cheap. I mean, we're only getting 150 for now. Pardon me. Only getting 150 for now. I doubt we'll have even enough in samples to fill them all. So it is what it is. Let's see. Trying to think of anything else. I think really that's it. I can't think anything else, and I really don't have anything to bitch and moan or rant about other than the printer. And, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know. I have no idea, though, why the main board picked right then to go out, but it did. Like I said, I tested the power supply. Power supply is working fine. Nothing to come up. And like I said, it's not a result of me cleaning the print head. So the worst result from me cleaning the print head would be that it don't print correctly or something like that. The display would still come up, and you know, the carriage motor and all that would still work. So it was just kind of one of those timing things, I guess. Sucks. It severely sucks. But I found a good deal on one new. Because I got to have a new one. I can't, it's not something that I can go with pre-owned, because if it's already had regular ink ran through it, then I can't use it for sublimation. So, found a good deal on one. So, found a place to have one brand new in the box. Actually a pretty large, popular company. $39 plus shipping. So, I think shipping was almost $10. With tax and stuff, I think it came out to 50 something. Not bad. Not bad. Considering that when we bought the sublimation system complete, it was $200. So actually, it was more than that for that. It was more than that. I take that back. It was like we paid like close to $250. And you know, you can go on eBay and other places all day long and find them for about $80 to $100. Just the printers without the sublimation system. You add that sublimation system in there, you're paying $200. That's what they cost now. But I've already got the tanks and the ink and all that good stuff. I just need a new printer. So anyway, I guess let me get started on the news headlines, and we will go from there. I'm probably boring you all to death by now. Crazy stuff in the news. That's all I can say is crazy stuff in the news. Have another sip real quick, and we'll get right to it. I've been watching a lot of stuff really closely. A lot of stuff is flaring up. Let me back up a little bit, because there was some stuff that okay, I covered that yesterday. Canada calls for social media crackdown over fears of foreign cyber interference in elections. Oh, just wait. There's more election stuff to come that will blow your mind. It blew my mind. So anyway, and that I shared last night actually, as well as this here. U.S. designates 16 Saudis for their roles in Khashoggi murder, says State Department. Yeah, but is any one of them the prince? By chance? Let's see. Missouri considers bill to bar discrimination for not vaccinating. What do you think about that? So, in other words, schools, daycares, stuff like that, they couldn't discriminate against people that choose not to vaccinate. Go Missouri. Go Missouri. CDC confirms 144 cases of dangerous superbug in Illinois, calls drug-resistant fungus global health threat. Now, this is something that I talked about yesterday. I didn't really go into it or anything, but this is this new, it's like a fungus, it's like a mold, and it's absolutely insane. There was one guy that died from it, and it was insane what they had to do to the hospital room. They had to like replace ceiling tiles. They had to go in and replace a ton of stuff in the room where they found this mold just from this guy being in there and dying in there. That mold had spread just from him, just from him being in there. This is something to pay attention to. 144 cases in Illinois alone, and it's a drug-resistant fungus. That is kind of scary. That is, and in the idea of how it spreads so quickly and how bad it embeds itself into things, this is something to pay attention to. This is something to pay attention to. UN chief calls for immediate halt to fighting in Libya. Trump's outgoing Secret Service chief disputes reports that he was fired. I don't get all of that. I read the article and I really was probably dumber after reading the article, but it sounds to me like, yeah, he was pretty much... You can mince words, you can flop around words all you want. You're out the door. It pretty much sounded like he got fired. Bolsonaro says Brazil and U.S. focus on creating rift within Venezuelan army to oust Maduro. So here again, we have somebody coming out in the open. This isn't being done behind backs, behind the scenes, or anything like that. They are coming right out. We had Bolton come out and flat out say that it was being done because of oil, right? And now we've got this guy coming out saying that they're trying to cause problems within the Venezuelan army, right? A coup, that's actually a coup. Is that not like illegal on an international scale? Really? Unreal. Russia signals OPEC and allies could raise oil output after June. India greenlights purchase of more Russian T-90 battle tanks. Thought that was kind of interesting. Let's see. Best $3 billion investment we make. Biden quip about U.S.-Israel ties sets Twitter on edge. Now, I want you to pay attention to that. That is Biden, okay? Let me ask you this. This seems very, very interesting to me. I just checked that out, Evil. I used to have something similar to that model, something very similar to that. So yeah, that is something that I am considering in the future, depending on what all happens, what all we do, how well it works out. But that is the size that's also the size that I'm looking at is the 00. Anything smaller would be just too small, and the 000, or whatever you technically call it, is just like way too big. There ain't no way I could get down a 000, I can tell you that. Let's see. So there's one thing that, and I hope people find this interesting, there's one thing that largely Democrats and Republicans agree on, and that's support of Israel. I'll let you figure it out. U.S. proposes $11 billion in tariffs on European products over Airbus subsidies. Turkey aims to boost trade with Russia to $100 billion. IDF puts Palestinians on lockdown, but settlers can move freely during Israeli election. What do you think about that? I mean, that's insane. That is insane. That's pretty much the same headline I read. Iran's Revolutionary Guard's top commander warns U.S. carrier not to pass near its speedboats. Again, things are ramping up. A Japanese fighter jet disappears from radar over Pacific. Anybody want to take a guess at what kind of plane it was? I'll have a sip of coffee. You can take a guess. Do 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 do. I know I can't even hum good, right? No takers? The amazing F-35, right? F-35, which should stand for flooded after it crashes into the ocean. Video shows U.S. forces retreating as eastern Libyan troops close in on Tripoli. I thought that was an interesting headline as well. Russia to expand annual LNG production to 140 million tons. Something to keep an eye on, because I'll tell you what, this energy war is happening right now. Right now. And I think we're going to see it wind up into a hot war, and I think there's a good chance that that's going to start down in Venezuela. Really good chance of that. China wants to eliminate Bitcoin mining for wasting energy and, get this, polluting environment. China blaming Bitcoin for polluting the environment, right? Man. New York City clears health emergency over measles outbreak in Williamsburg. Why are people freaking out about measles? What is the problem? Man, it's insane. Anybody that's scared of measles and stuff, just kind of go look a little further back, like maybe about 2-3 generations, and see what they used to do. 1,200 hidden cameras seized from Israeli polling stations as Netanyahu defends Likud move. I don't know Likud. I have no idea what that means or if I'm pronouncing it right. But yeah, he's admitting to it. Netanyahu is admitting to putting 1,200 cameras in the polling stations. How's that? Huh? How's that? How would you like to go into a polling station to make your vote, even though I try to discourage you from taking part in such nonsense? How would you like going in to cast your ballot and have a camera watch you and watch who it is that you vote for? How would you like that? Let's see, in the last one here, Prime Minister Netanyahu, I'm calling him Netanyahu from now on, and Gantz both declare victory as Israeli exit poll shows tight results. So I see 3 things up here. Let me take a look at it on RT. Nothing to do with that. So I'm interested to see what happens there. I can't wait to hear who wins. I hope this Gantz character beats out Netanyahu. It's time for a changing of the guard, and maybe things might get a little better, maybe not. Maybe they'll get worse. I don't know anything about this Gantz character. All I know is what I see and what I have seen over the last couple of decades, and it disgusts me. Absolutely disgusts me. So we'll see, We shall see. So anyway, that's what I got for you for the monologue. I know it's kind of a quick monologue today. I don't really have anything, like I say, in particular picked out to rant about. I haven't had time to think of anything much other than printer heads, so which was about making me lose my head. So anyway, let me go ahead and close up the monologue. For those here for the live show, stick around, don't blink an eye, don't do anything. This is just how I close up the monologue. And for those that just watched the monologue or the recording thereof, thank you very much. Please, if you're so inclined, use our Amazon affiliate link in the description. As always, God bless you. We love you and be one with your spirit.